Misdirection is a weird thing. You always hear from the spectator, "Oh, you misdirected me, the hand is quicker than the eye." And they always say it with a stupid grin on their face, and you have no choice but to sort of chuckle back and move on with the trick. And the truth of the matter is that's not always the case, or at least not in the traditional sense. You see, our job as magicians is to misdirect them, obviously when you're doing moves that they shouldn't see, a secret pass or a top change, but do it in such a way that the flow of the routine doesn't lead the spectator to automatically assume you did something over here while the trick happens over there. So in today's video, we are going to talk about one of the standard misdirection moments you would have, and that is when you perform a classic pass. Yo guys, what is going on? Alex Pandrea here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are talking about the classic pass, but not only the classic pass, how to perform it in a real life situation so that you don't get this awkward moment of take the card, place it back here, and then wait, look down at your hands and do the pass. Now the reason that I feel that this is a problem is that I see it all the time. A lot of magicians, when they're going to do a move, they look down at they pause first and then they look down at the hands. Now, why do we do this? I think the reason that we do this is because the way we practice. We practice moves such as the pass by looking down at the hands, right? For the most part, we look down, make sure our technique is right, make sure it looks good, praise ourselves. But the problem with that is that subconsciously that will enter into your performance and you're gonna have those awkward moments. Also, we have to take a look at the routine in full. See, what happens is that we don't know exactly when the pass takes place. We don't know what comes before or after when we're actually practicing it. When we're doing the full routine, yeah, we obviously know that they have to place the card back first, place the other cards on top, and then do the pass. But when we are practicing, we just literally do a pass, get a break, do a pass, get a break, do a pass. So understanding the routine in full is also an important part of this. So let's take a look at a very simple sequence and how to make it better. Now, before we get started with the video, an important piece of information for you all. If you haven't heard already, alexpandrea.com is launching in the beginning of July, the first or second week of July. And we are doing something very exciting, something I've been wanting to do for a long time now. And if you sign up at alexpandrea.com with your email, you're going to get an exclusive and special deal of what this is. So alexpandrea.com, and let's get into the video. All right, here we go on the couch, so we have room to talk about this because it's important to understand that this is a performance style tutorial. Basically, we have to understand a few things before going forward. We have to understand how the audience is situated. Are they on the left, the right, surrounding you? Are you sitting? Are you standing? So all these little details matter when talking about performance aspects and moving from here to there and misdirecting people. So keep that in mind while we go forward through this tutorial. So we are talking about the classic pass and how to break that down into multiple steps. Now, it's very important when thinking about a move to understand what comes before, what comes after it, because you will know then where to start. For example, if I were to have a card selected and be placed back, well, I just practiced, or I practiced the classic pass down here, right? I never practiced this move, right? So the action of taking the card back from the spectator is important. And the reason that it's important, because maybe we could use it to our advantage. If I lean out my hand and then I come with the deck here to place everything there, right, on top, while my arms are extended, well, guess what? This is a different scenario, and you'll practice it differently than if you were here, right? If you were here and placing the cards on top and then squaring up and doing the move, well, these are two totally different things, okay? So that's step number one. Step number two is what happens after you do the pass. Do you place the deck down on the table? Do you give it to the spectator on the right-hand side to hold on to it? Do you just hold on to it and go about your routine? What do you do with the deck? And this is also important to understanding the effect in full. So we're going to break down this section of a routine, and it's going to be having a card selected, placed back, put the cards on top, do a pass, and then move into your next step. So now step by step, this is what should happen. A spectator selects a card, okay, and this is for every effect that somebody selects a card. They select the card. Now we are going to put the card back. So that's going to be step number one, placing the card back. Boom. Step number two is replacing the top half or the right hand's packet onto the bottom half of the deck. That is step number two. Step number three is to obtain some sort of break, right? Because we always need a break when we're going to perform a pass for the most part. So obtaining a break. Step number 4 is coming with your hand on top of it to do the move. And step number 5 is actually doing the move with some sort of misdirection. And then it's what comes next. And that's going to be depending on you. For our case right now, we're going to place the cards on the table and get rid of it. All right, now that we know that, let's think about when the misdirection should be implemented. Now, there's 2 important things that I want you to note. Your positioning of the body to make them look where you want to look. All right, and then your relaxation positioning. So 2 things that we have to sort of practice. While we practice our sleight of hand, while we practice the things we say, we also have to practice our positioning of the body, because that also helps in the misdirection and to create a nice flow. So that people don't think that you're doing something and then you want them to look over here, right? You want to do it in a more subtle way so it flows smoothly. So here are the 2 sort of body positioning. First is a very shoulders out, back straight, open wide. Your hands are flexible and they're moving around and they're gesturing in this manner. Okay, so that's the first thing. And then the second type that I want you to concentrate on is going to be a very sort of closed in situation when you are concentrating on the deck and something is happening. Now I want you to reverse the roles in your mind of what you think that they should be implemented for. So what I mean by that is that usually when you're doing a sleight, right, when you're doing a pass or a top change, you're very constrained with the body, right? Your back is curled, your hands are firm, right, and tight, right, and you're gonna do that move. So because this is how we practice, right? We practice doing the pass, right? Boom, and look at your body positioning. We never ever practice doing this, because this would be weird if I'm just sitting on the couch watching TV and then practice the pass. That would be a little psychotic. So the reason that we don't do that as often is because it seems weird, but we have to do that in performance, right? So those are the 2 things. Out with the body like this, and this is when the move should be done, when you're here, all right? This is when a top change should be done. This is when a palm should be done, okay? And in this case, this is when a classic pass should be done. And now when you are coming down and putting emphasis on the deck and then making the card either come to the top or something like that, that's when nothing should happen, okay? That's when the move is done, and that is when you're so fair with everything. They look down, they come, because if you come in down, they're going to come in here. We always like to snap, don't we? And then the card appears on top. And this way, because they're leaning in and because they're so concentrated and you're so concentrated on this moment and nothing happens, then all the misdirection will just fly by their head because the misdirection is done in this part. Okay, so now let's take it back to the exact example of having a card selected. Remember, we broke it down in those different steps, and how do we execute it properly. So you have a card selected, boom, there you go. You're happy with that card, you love it, perfect, good. Now go ahead, place the card back. So we could do it in a few ways. Dribble here, spread here, doesn't matter. But now you are going to be open with your gesturing, your body language, everything is very open. Because at this point, there's nothing to see and nothing to hide, right? In their mind, or at least that's what should be in their mind. You're very open. Boom. Take the card back. Now you're still here. You can show the card around. And now, this is what people, I think, get a little caught up on. They want to misdirect at this part and say, oh, do you remember the card? Right? Or can you remember the card? For me, that's such a stupid question to ask because it does not give them enough room in their mind to think, to look up at you. Of course they're going to remember the card. They just saw it, right? I mean, let's be honest, some people forget the card. But nonetheless, I think we could do a little better. So my thinking behind it is, instead of saying, can you remember the card or something, I say, can you do me a favor? It's very important. And then get their attention that way, okay? So even if you're here and you show the cards to everybody, then you could come here, and before you place this on top, or as you're placing this on top, right, as you're doing this to get the break, placing these cards on top, can you do me a favor? Body comes up, hand points, your head looks up, they look at you, you look at them, you stare into each other's eyes. And this way, there is all misdirection because you're looking at them, they're looking at you, they're waiting for you to tell them what the favor is. The other spectators are also waiting, right? So all attention is here. You come with the hands, and now you're going to execute the pass while in motion to the next step. So like I said, in our case, the next step is to the table. So I'm going to execute the pass as I tell them what I need from them. As I come up with the body, can you do me a favor? It's important. Yes. Please don't forget the card. And I say that. Please don't forget the card. They're waiting for something. They're waiting for me to say it. Please don't forget the card. I perform the pass and I go to the table and now my hands come up. Okay? So now what did they just experience? Right? The only time they looked up is for a valid pattern line. Okay? It's not this. It's not here, here. Okay, guys. Okay? I see this all the time. They put emphasis on where they don't need to put emphasis, and I think if you structure it in this way, you'll have much more success. So now again, another little small example. After you've done this and you place the cards on the table, let's say the card is on top, now you can say, watch, I'm not even gonna touch the deck, right? Because in their minds, they just did this, you put the cards down like that. You did nothing at this point, all right? Because of the way that we structured from here to here, back to here. Now we're gonna go back to here. Everybody down, look, the card's not even in your hands, and then boom, snap your fingers, don't do that, and the card comes up to the top, all right? This little, even though it's not a trick itself, this is not a routine, it's literally doing a pass and the card coming up to the top. This is just a small example of how you can take your routines, break them up from here when you're doing things, when you're doing secret moves, top change and things like that, to here when you're not. To concentrate when you're not. And breaking it up that way will make your routine smoother, will make the misdirection fly over their head, and it's very much in line with, but he didn't do anything. I didn't see him do anything. And that's much different than if you have to pause and have awkward pauses or do moves while you're concentrating on it, okay? So think of the routines that you perform and break them up in this manner, and I think you'll have much more success with your card magic.
Remember that card. Put it back in the deck. I want you to watch. That card is going to jump from there all the way to the top here with one click of the deck. Watch. Actually, I did cut the deck just very quickly, and your card instantly jumped to the top.
Question of the day for you guys, leave them down in the comments. What is your favorite pass? Pretty easy question, but I know there's many different passes out there and you guys might have something interesting to share. Maybe some guys don't know this particular pass you're talking about, so leave them down in the comments below, and that always helps to spread the knowledge. Now, like I said in the very beginning, it's very important to look at this as a whole, right? See what comes before, see what comes after, and use that while you practice. Subconsciously, you will take that and start doing it in performance, and I think you'll have much more success with it. If you guys enjoyed the video and learned something, you know what to do. Hit the like button. That helps my channel. That helps the world. Get that content out there for more people to see. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks so much. Peace.